Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those who already know me and for those who don't, welcome. My name is Michael. I'm a French guy reacting most of the time in English to music videos that I'd like to share with you and some that I'd like to discover with you. And today it's gonna be a discovery because yes, I don't know this song. I know this singer. It's Ren. So I did two songs from him, three actually, because one was with Chinchilla. And a lot of you guys suggested me to react to the tale of Jenny and Screech. So I can see that it's a 13 minutes video. So yes, it's gonna be quite interesting because it's a huge piece of music. So yes, you know how I felt when I first discovered the Rain. It was really a musical shock, and I find this guy really interesting and really genuine and raw and really talented because that's the most important thing. Just the way he's using music and writings just to deliver his emotions, to convey his emotions and what he feels. So that's he said that in the High Rain, that he's not looking for fame, he's just want to connect with people, and that's crazy great. So of course I'm gonna put the official link of this video in the description. Please feel free to share this link, to watch it once again if you haven't done it so far, and so it can help Ren to reach his goal, just to connect with as many people as he can, and that would be great. I know I'm not a huge channel, but yes, if I can do my part, that would be great too. So of course, if you've already seen this video, if you already know this song, you're probably gonna enjoy watching it once again with me. And if you're just like me discovering it, we're gonna have a good time, I hope, together. So let's go with Ren, the tale of Jenny and Screech.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware, maybe intuition bugging her and making her so scared. Sirens sounded in the distance with the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Up or go Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete, and he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame. Our story, it starts right at the end. At the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, you in? No, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch, for fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest. Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying 1 street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame. London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beeps and bloodstains, she saw a lady weep. She's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale. Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you of the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood's black bone, crack, knick, knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet. London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins are lying side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
Well, really impressive. Really impressive. So, okay, I didn't expect that that song to be, in fact, several songs, one after the other. So or otherwise I would have stop each time. But once I started, okay, uh, I'm gonna try to remember everything. So at the beginning, what's interesting is that is really telling that's a really tell really a story. Is a fantastic storyteller, and obviously when you listen to him, he's a great musician, and he always he's got this ability to set up a scene really quickly and really clear. In fact, you totally in a few seconds, everything is set it up and is set up. Sorry, and you definitely know. You're definitely catched. You definitely caught. Sorry, by the story, and this is great because in very small parts of 3 minutes, 4 minutes each, you've got everything. And so I love the evolution of the song. Probably these songs were written and composed really closely to high rent because you've got some influences. So the way the composition is structured, the sound when he's on the violet scale, and is in the hospital in the bedroom, on the bed, and he's singing like this. It reminds me a lot of Rain, of course. The fact that mm, every song starts with a little introduction, and then you got the rhythm coming back after that. Um, so yes, you got kind of the same structure, and probably it's on purpose because yes, you just want to say different stage, different character, but the story has to be developed the same way to have something considered as a whole. And so that's really interesting. And yes, I love the small effects he did, especially when he's using his guitar just to simulate the sound of the officer shooting Screech. I think that was quite interesting, and even the way they shoot this movie is really interesting, and you want to know more. You want to know the end, and so it's really catchy, and it's really you got some little cliffhangers after all songs. You want to know what's gonna happen, and on 13 minutes you got this story with all the characters, and this is brilliant. And yes, I can see, I can hear that he's a really fantastic guitar player. Uh, so that's also blew my mind because yeah, you know that you really can play, and you can use his guitar not just a music instrument but just a tool to express the emotions. And I think that's the signature of a really good musician. And yes, the way I like, sometimes it's more like a rap, sometimes it's more like a kind of ragamuffin. Sometimes I think the way he sings. And yeah, so about the story, I, to be honest, I need to understand because I don't know when you've got. Okay, so I got it. I think that Violet's children, so the twins, were obviously Screech and Jenny, and probably they were adopted, but they didn't know each other, and they met, and that's what happened. So it's kind of vicious circle of violence. And yeah, when you grow surrounded by violence, and when you live through violence, and especially at the in the violet's style, it's really the way he described the fight. It's not the fight, it's just the murder kind of Violet by his boyfriend. um you can it's almost, it's so true, and it's so felt that it's almost disturbing. the words and everything. You can picture it, and yes, I felt a bit disturbed by that, and that's a really understatement. Uh, and so, well, yeah, when you're raised in violence and when you live through violence and you're a victim, it's really hard to get out of this. Actually, you can, of course, because people sometimes have luck, sometimes have people helping them, sometimes you're more resilient. uh, but yeah, if you grow in violence and in a violent environment, in violent city, a violent suburb, or block, obviously that's tough. Getting out of this is really tough. Is really tough, and yeah, it's like fate, but a really dark fate, that our children uh, who were born while she died, uh, finally one succeeded. Jenny, obviously, yeah, Jenny succeeded because yeah, she seems to have a good life and everything. But finally, it's like you can. This is really dark because that's how far I understand is that you can escape your fate, kind of. And I don't believe in fate actually, but that's when you live somewhere and when you, even though you can try to make something of your life, if you stay in a violent environment, yeah, you got a lot of chances to have problems. And we know that it's difficult to, maybe you don't want to change because you like, you can, probably Jenny loves where she lived because she was probably born and raised there, because he said she walked through these streets 1,000 times and she know them by heart. And but yes, when you got, when there's no equality and when it's difficult to, when some are more struggling than others and don't have the good education and are, suffering, obviously violence most of the times leads to violence. And yeah, probably we don't know the Screech childhood, but probably Screech uh, had some hard times when he was a kid. And yes, so yeah, this is a bit difficult for me to explain in English because I would have like more subtle thought to express in French. But yes, in English it's always difficult. And when you just saw the movie, I said, okay, the video, and yeah, it's so, there are so many things. I'm thinking about how it describe, black, blue, uh, talking about probably the bruises she got whole her life and the incest she suffered and everything. So I'm talking about Violet. Um, um, yes, you got so many things, and it's hard to recall. And I wish I should watch it once again and two times and maybe three times and more just to get all these nuances. But I wanted to give you a raw impression. Maybe it's a bit a mess because I'm going in a lot of different directions. But yes, I don't like to edit. I want my channel and my reactions to be genuine and raw. So uh, sometimes when it's a complicated a video, it's a bit a mess. I'm sorry. I hope you still enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this song, these songs, because there are several in one. And yes, what should I do next? What could be the next song, the perfect next song to do with this artist? Just let me know what your suggestions are. And yes, just as a sum up, I would say yeah, is really gifted and he's got a lot of talent, and it's a brilliant job. It's a brilliant work, and is really interesting. So, okay, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please remember to subscribe to my channel. That would help me a lot, and to click on the like button. And I hope to talk to you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.